Good evening all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Thursday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 209 million cases of COVID-19 with more than 4 million deaths. Here in the United States, we're at more than 37 million cases of the coronavirus and at least 624,000 deaths. This comes as U.S. health officials have announced that booster shots, a third dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, will be widely available to all Americans starting on September 20th. Infections have continued to rise across the nation and healthcare workers are overwhelmed in areas with low vaccination rates, with Delta variant spreading like wildfire. On that, Alabama's healthcare system is on the verge of a major crisis with COVID-19. Yesterday, the state had no ICU bed available across hospitals, and people were forced to wait in emergency rooms for an open ICU bed. Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, countries are racing to evacuate their citizens from there while Taliban continues to gain control, with no safe passage being guaranteed for many who need to leave. This is happening while the issue of women's rights in Afghanistan under the Taliban has created chaos amongst Afghan women who fear for a return of an oppressive rule under the Taliban. So what do you think the US should be doing for people of Afghanistan? Send us your comments on events@itvgold.com. With that, let's now take a look at the headlines coming in tonight with much on celebrating South Asian culture. Here are the headlines. Surati for Performing Arts hosts second International Rakhi Festival in New Jersey. New movie Candyman releases August 27, 2021, featuring cast and crew. Disney presents first Indian-American original movie Spin, featuring Avantika. A lot more on the other side of the break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I'm Aditi Lamba and this is Vision of Asia, Thursday night episode of South Asian News. Let's take a look at the Surati for Performing Arts non-profit in New Jersey and its incredible efforts in empowering the greater community with South Asian culture and arts. Popularly called Surati, the organization promotes Indian art and culture and educates and enriches all through dance, music, theater, arts, and crafts. Surati also hosts numerous events throughout the year to enhance its efforts of cultural integration. On that, recently, Surati for Performing Arts hosted the second International Rakhi Festival outside Amir Restaurant in Jersey City. The event celebrated Indian festival of Raksha Bandhan, a beautiful occasion which highlights the bond between a brother and a sister, and it signifies brotherhood, acceptance, protection with mutual respect. This year, Surati extended this meaning of Raksha Bandhan to embrace people from all over and encourage cross-cultural exchange and dialogue. Spreading messages of love and peace, here are some highlights of the second International Rakhi Festival.
Hi, I'm Rimli Roy, founder and artistic director of Surati for Performing Arts. We are here to celebrate our second International Rakhi Festival outdoors here in Jersey City at Amia Restaurant. We are globalizing the concept of Rakhi, which began as a traditional family event within India, where the sister ties the Rakhi on the brother, and the brother blesses her, and the sister prays for the brother's long life, and the brother offers a bond of protection for life. Today, we've invited police officers from Jersey City Police Department. Unfortunately, the fire department officers could not make it. But we are trying to globalize Rakhi. We're expecting a lot more people from the community to come out to promote brotherhood, sisterhood, inter-community ties, peace, understanding, and mutual respect. We are trying to globalize Rakhi. So this is the Globalize Rakhi movement. And we always thank ITV to be here and support us. Thank you.
It's very nice to be here and celebrate with Rimli and some of the activists and community members in the Indian American community. I would just say about Surati that what they've done over the last couple of years with educating people that aren't familiar with Indian customs is really amazing. And so we're lucky to have you here in Jersey City. And I'm proud and happy that I see you growing all the time. It's really great. Thank you.
I'm here. Rimli invited me, and thank you so much, Rimli, for this opportunity. So I'm displaying my book here, which is on Raksha Bandhan, and it talks about how Raksha Bandhan is celebrated, its significance in today's life, where the protagonist of the book ties a Rakhi to firefighter, and then it also says the legend how the Rakhi started. So it's all there for kids to know about the festival and enjoy the whole feel of this festival. Beautiful festival which is all about love, respect, protection. Thank you so much.
Some interesting stories of Rakhi or Raksha Bandhan, meaning bond of protection, which is an Indian festival signifying the promise to protect. This occasion is celebrated on the full moon of the Indian month of Shravan in the lunar calendar and in August in the Gregorian calendar. On this auspicious day, sisters tie a Rakhi or a pretty bracelet of colorful threads around the wrist of their brothers, praying for their health and well-being. The brothers in their turn give their sisters gifts as a pledge of their support and protection if ever the need arises. The Rakhi, as this wristband is popularly known, is considered sacred because it is a token of a promise, and the occasion is celebrated with great reverence, gusto, and flourish. Through this Rakhi festival and movement, we hope to spread the message of love and peace by inviting members of the community to celebrate this happy occasion with us. Come, let us celebrate and share the spirit of Rakhi with joy and festivity.
Hello, good evening everyone. I'm Rimli Roy, founder and artistic director of Surati for Performing Arts. We are here to celebrate our second International Rakhi Festival. And with me today, I have Priya Kumari, who has written the book My Raksha Bandhan. We are very, very excited to have her here today at our festival.
So, the book I wrote on Raksha Bandhan is called My Raksha Bandhan, and it talks about the tradition, how it is celebrated, the legend behind it, and the cultural relevance of this festival even today, where the main character of the book, Tara, ties Rakhi to firefighters. And then the special full moon day, which is of Shravan Purnima, is celebrated in many ways across India. So there is a map at the end which explains how all the other festivals are celebrated in India, the Haigriva Jayanti, Nirali Purnima. So it's a huge day for Hindus, for our tradition. And now this same festival is not just for brother and sister, it's for siblings, it's for anyone who serves our society. It's across all genders and all borders, and it can be just a bond of protection, a universal friendship day probably. Yeah, thank you so much. And the book also won Purple Dragonfly Award this year, which I'm really happy of. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for coming out. This is such an amazing event, especially within the LGBTQ community. We really focus on inclusivity and things of that nature. So thank you so much for bringing even more inclusive events to the Jersey City area. The Jersey City Pride Festival 2021 is being held this Saturday, the 21st at the Newark Pedestrian Plaza. It's also going to be in the Grove Street Path Plaza. It's going to be a really amazing event, 70 plus vendors. We're going to have 2 stages, a lot of performances from some amazing LGBTQ artists. And thank you so much for having us, and we would love to see all of you there and, feel the support. We try to come out and support the community in any way we can, and we really appreciate when you show up and support us in any way you can.
Hello, my name is Girish. Happy Rakhi.
Happy Rakhi. Happy Rakhi.
New American supernatural slasher film Candyman is all set to be released on August 27th next week by Universal Pictures. Directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Jordan Peele, Wynn Rosenfield, and DaCosta herself, the movie stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Tiona Paris, Nathan Stewart Jarrett, and Coleman Domingo. Candyman is a direct sequel to the 1992 horror film of the same name and the 4th film in the Candyman film series based on a short story, The Forbidden by Clive Barker. Candyman focuses on the connection between Anthony McCoy, played by Yahya, and the urban legend Candyman when McCoy and his girlfriend return to his old neighborhood, Chicago's Cabrini Green housing projects turned gentrified luxury condos. What follows is bloodshed and more in this horror movie. We have tonight more insight into Candyman featuring its cast and crew. Here is the story.
Candyman. The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
Who would do that?
Candyman. 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 Candyman.
It feels amazing to be a part of the Candyman legacy. I saw Candyman when I was younger, and it was one of those films that I think every kid, or at least every little black kid, had seen and was like, oh no, your brother tortures you, saying it and leaving you in the bathroom or in the room by yourself to deal with Candyman when he comes, that sort of thing. So I have always been frightened of the Candyman legacy and him coming to get me or something. And to actually, years later be a part of continuing that story is really cool for me.
Well, we're still alive. Let's go. Trina, you broke the door. This isn't funny!
I feel really connected to this neighborhood. Cabrini Green. It was the projects. I just moved in around the corner.
The old candy factory.
I'm an artist.
You looking for Candyman?
It's not just about entertainment value. It's also about making something that's going to be important, making something that's going to cause you to think and cause you to have conversations, similarly to the way I guess Anthony would like for his art to speak to the world. When I'm working with Jordan, I always feel taken care of, and I know that we're trying to do something that's going to be classy, that's going to really stand the test of time, and that's going to be important to what's in the zeitgeist right now.
He's the monster that's part of this neighborhood.
Why are you drawn to this?
I'm hoping to spread the story all about Candyman. The mirror invites you to summon him. You should say his name. I dare you.
Candyman.
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 The story of Candyman is so perennial, and that's part of the reason why it's exciting to tell it at any time period. From the origin of the story itself in the context of the first film, in the 1890s to now, what we're talking about, I think, is the cycles of violence and how history repeats itself and how we collectively grieve and collectively process trauma, which is through stories. So I think it's always a time to tell a story like Candyman, which is, kind of the big tragedy of the tale in the first place.
Candyman.
made a mistake. I brought him back.
Candyman isn't real!
Something's happening to me.
He had a purpose for you to be another one of his terrible stories.
I guess he found me.
I'm very interested in terms of like stories about Black trauma and how it affects us, how we walk around with it, and how we're trying to seek some sort of I don't know, retribution, trying to seek some I don't know, something to help us continue to walk tall, you know? So I think that he's searching, and Burke is a character that's been waiting for his opportunity to say you can never forget the names of those that have been killed. So I think very much so, it's very much indicative of what we are saying the names of, you know, Philando Castile, you know, you name it, of Black men struck down in our community, but community members and leaders, you name it, and how important it is to remember that, to not gloss over it, but you have to remember that in order to move forward.
I think people like to be terrified. I think, you know, the boogeyman, that thing that we're looking over our shoulder for, personified in the Candyman, but also the sort of game element of it, where you can call it up and see. I think people really are enlivened by that. They're really excited. What I really love about what this film does, the updated Say My Name version of it, is that it really, like the original, it talks about so many topical, the politic of the day, the politic in terms of gentrification, what it means to be an artist, what it means to have a place in the world. You know, Candyman is driven by his need for his story to be told. And so I think all those things resonate with us as an audience, and I think it's just a good show. So people want to see more of it and see what has happened.
The writing on the wall. The sweet smell of blood. My victim.
This is not real. It's not real.
Well, it's now time for another short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I'm Avantika Spin, and this is Vision of Asia, South Asian news segment. We have now another segment of our conversation with actress Avantika on Disney's first original Indian-American movie, Spin. The movie highlights India's culture, arts, and heritage while also normalizing the importance of the community on Disney's platform. The movie follows Riya, played by Avantika, an Indian-American teenager whose life revolves around her eclectic group of friends, her family's Indian restaurant, and her tight-knit multi-generational family. Things begin to change for Riya as she meets an inspiring DJ named Max and discovers her natural talent for creating beats. It then takes her on a musical journey, embracing her South Asian culture and infusing it into the world around her. This movie celebrates the theme that music is in everything around us and the importance of combining elements of different cultures to find oneself. In our conversation with Avantika, we spoke to her about being the first Indian-American face of Disney original movies and the space that has now opened up for aspiring South Asian artists in the United States. Here is Avantika on Spin and more.
Welcome to Battle of the Beatmasters!
Show everybody who you really are.
I'm ready.
You were born ready.
It's all music.
the fact that this is Disney's first Indian American original movie. This is a huge step that Disney has taken. This comes after Disney has, released something like Meera the Royal Detective, another South Asian, huge cultural influencing animated series. What do you have to say about Disney's constant attempt now at creating these stories about Indian American cultures and to really push the envelope a little bit forward? How does that feel for you?
I'm really glad it's happening. I'm really, really glad. And I'm glad Disney is taking that step now, and hopefully they continue to take those steps further in the future, because I hope they see how much of an impact these make on South Asian youth, and how much of a difference it makes on their childhood and their upbringing, and what a positive impact it leaves. So hopefully this paves the way for many more projects like this to come.
Yes, just a couple more questions left here for you. I would love for you to give some advice to the growing industry of South Asian American artists, actors, dancers, choreographers, and even people in production that we're seeing. What are some tips you can give them in order for them to truly make it into the industry? What worked for you?
I think just to really take advantage of the fact that, the South Asian diaspora in the American market is expanding, and to just take that leap of faith. I think even when I was starting out, I still am kind of starting out, but it was just really hard for me to muster up the courage to be like, oh, okay, even though I don't see anyone who looks like me on screen, I think I can go there and make it. But I hope that films like this, and like you said, Meera the Royal Detective, and so many other actors who are getting critical acclaim, like Riz Ahmed, just so many Desi actors, I hope that all of those signs of success among the South Asian actor community in the film industry, I hope that gives, aspiring South Asian actors the hope that they need to take that leap of faith.
Let me ask you something. What do you say to parents who have these kids and who are still apprehensive about letting them pursue this?
I think most of the apprehension stems from financial stability and the lack they see of financial stability in artistic careers, which, they have a point. It is the truth. It's hard to be financially stable in this industry, but I see so many actors in LA who balance school and acting, and who go to college while also auditioning. So I definitely think if you're hesitating to let your child into acting because you're worried that they won't focus on their education, all you really need to do is instead of kind of restricting it altogether, to just make your expectations clear, because I think if someone wants it bad enough, they'll definitely be able to manage studies as well as acting. And if parents are super supportive and provide a good support system, that's it. They can do anything they want to.
Yes, 2 more questions left here for you, Avantika. You did work in India as well, and I'm sure you will continue to. I would love for you to discuss how that experience has been, and how different was it working here as compared to working in India?
It was great. I really, really loved working in India, and I definitely think it was a tougher environment for women and children to work in the film industry there. But I think that kind of also prepped me to come over here, because I was, from a young age worked in a certain way over there, that when I came here, I kind of was able to settle in a lot quicker and a lot more easier. I also worked there a lot with family and with such close interaction with my culture, which I think was so much fun to be able to dance and interact with so much color. And when I came here, I think it was the one thing I really, really missed. But I'm glad that movies like this are coming out, and scripts like this are being developed, because I think that gives an opportunity for South Asians to work in close connection with other people from the South Asian community.
With this, we wrap up our show for the night. Again, please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on our Facebook handle @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Diti Lamba. Take care and be well.